welcome to your tutor ZM, and in this video you're going to be looking at trigonometric equations. So what I have basically is our aid, or which we call the quadrants. So in the first quadrant we know that all the values of theta equal the value of alpha, which I'll explain as we solve. And then in the second quadrant you know that we'll have where only sine is positive. That's why we have got an S in the second quadrant representing sine. It's the only thing that's positive there. And all the values of theta are equal to 180 minus the value of beta. And then that's alpha, sorry. And then we'll also have theta being equal to 180 plus alpha, and then theta being equal to 180 minus alpha for the fourth quadrant. So second quadrant sine is positive, third tan, last one is basically versus cos, which is positive. So you just have to remember is that all students take chemistry or calculus, whatever you want to use as a memory aid. So this is what we're going to be basically using. So let's say we have been given a scenario or a problem. Let's say we have been given to solve sine theta to be equal to 0.58. So let's say we want to solve for sine theta. How are we going to solve for sine theta? So the first thing that you have to do is basically let theta be equal to alpha. So this is what we're going to do. So this is our first step. So now everywhere where we have theta, we're simply going to replace with alpha. So we're going to have sine alpha of 0.58. Then now we're simply going to solve for alpha by saying alpha will be equal to sine inverse of whatever we have in our brackets, 0.58. And then therefore our alpha will be equal to 35.45 degrees. And then one thing that you need to understand about this question is that these questions are always given a limit. So what do I mean by a limit? Let's say our limit of the values of theta must be equal between the range of 0 degrees has to be greater than or equal to theta, which is greater than or equal to, which is less than or equal, sorry, to 180 degrees. So this is our limit. So we shouldn't find a value of theta above 360 or below 360. Then we have done something wrong there. So now that I have this, now we have to look at the quadrant where our sine is positive. So sine is positive here. So where sine is positive, we have to subtract our value for alpha minus 180 to find our values of theta. Because we already have one value of theta, now we have to find our other value of theta. So our other value of theta, I'm simply going to say theta will be equal to 180 minus 35.45 degrees. And then once I subtract, I'm going to get 144.55 degrees. So what this simply means is that my answers for theta given that range are therefore equal. So this is my answer. So therefore theta is equal to, we start with the smallest value which we have found, 35.45 degrees, and my other value of theta, comma, my other value of theta is equal to 144.55 degrees. So these are your two answers for your value of theta. Yeah, so these are your two answers for theta. Yeah, so this is how you basically solve that, given that you understand the quadrants and the limit given, and then you basically have to say your alpha has to be equal to your theta. Then you first find your first value of alpha, which is actually theta, because alpha and theta are equal, as we said. Then you end up finding your other answer using the quadrants. But for the sake of practice, let's just go ahead and try out another question. I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Yeah, let's try another question, but let's say this time we've been given to solve sine. We've been told to solve for sine theta of negative 0.38. So if we want to solve for our sine theta again, we have to say theta be equal to alpha. Then we're just simply going to have sine alpha being equal to negative 0.38. Yeah, and then now once we get into this stage, we say alpha will be equal to sine inverse. And then now, once we are putting it sine inverse, we are going to ignore the negative. Yeah, we just have to ignore the negative, and then the negative will apply when we are looking at our quadrants, because sine inverse of a negative value will obviously be a math error on a calculator, I'm sure. So yeah, that so now we'll find that our value of alpha will be equal to 22.33 degrees, 0.33 degrees. So now this is our value. So what you need to understand is that our other answers is that we have got where sine is negative. So sine is negative in this quadrant and that other quadrant. So implying that our answer has to be added to 180 and must be subtracted by 360. We don't want where sine is positive. Hence, this is not our answer of this isn't an answer of theta. So let's subtract that. So we're going to add first, we're going to say for a value of theta, let me use blue. So we're going to have theta will be equal to 180 plus 22.33, 22.33. So we're going to have theta being equal to 20.233. So this is one of our values of theta. Now another value is once we subtract it by 180. So we're going to have, sorry, by 360. So we're going to have 360 minus 22.33. So we're going to have our value of theta being equal to 337.67 degrees. Yeah. So therefore, our answers for theta are just this one and that one. So we can write these answers collectively. That's if we, for the sake of work presentation, comma 337.67 degrees. So then this is our value of theta. Yeah, so this is what we basically do to get our answers. So if you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, like, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Thank you very much.